I've got a heart that can hold love. I've got a mind that can think. There may be times when I lose the light and let my spirit sink, but I can't stay depressed when I remember how I'm blessed. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. In a city of strangers, I've got a family of friends. No matter what rocks and brambles fill the way, I know they will stay until the end. I feel a hand holding my hand. It's not a hand you can see, but on the road to the promised land, this hand will shepherd me through delight and despair, holding tight and always there. Modim אנחנו לך. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. It's not that I don't want a lot, or hope for more, or dream of more, but giving thanks for what I've got makes me so much happier than keeping score in a world that can bring pain. I will still take each chance, for I believe that whatever the terrain, our feet can learn to dance. Whatever stone life may sling, we can moan or we can sing. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. Truly blessed and duly grateful. page 134 if you'd like to try and join me. Zamru Ladonai Bechino Bechino Bekol Zimra Zamru Ladonai Bechino Bechino Bekol Zimra. Let's go from the top again. Zamru Ladonai Bechino Bechino Vekol Zimra. Zamru Ladonai Zamru Ladonai Bechino Bechino Vekol Zimra. Sounding nice. Next part. Zamru Ladonai Bechino Bechino Vekol Zimra. Zamru Ladonai Bechino Bechino Vekol Zimra. Back to the beginning. You know this. Zamru Ladonai Bechino Bechino Vekol Zimra. Zamru Ladonai Bechino Bechino Vekol Zimra. Zamru Ladonai Bechino Bechino Vekol Zimra. Last time. You have the melody now. Zamru Ladonai Bechino Bechino Vekol Zimra. You had to work for that first one. We turn to page 142, something you don't have to work for at all. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharit, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Buachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitkhem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you'd like the words Tehillim Atov are on page 128, but I'm pretty sure you have these in your heart. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to Temple B'nai Israel. It's great to have you here with us, joining us for Shabbat worship, and also great to have everyone at home joining us as well. Shabbat Shalom to all of our streamers. It's so wonderful again that we can gather in person or virtually to welcome Shabbat together. Let's all turn and greet our neighbors and give each other a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Let's turn now as we welcome Shabbat with the lighting of candles and with Kiddush as we call to come forward Barry and Helene Dabowski. Let's all rise together on page 120 and 121.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the second day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it, God ceased from all work of creation that God had done. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Pri
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. B'Shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, B'Shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim.
And we can take our seats. Let's turn to the middle of page 124. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. Together, may it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
On page 138 and 139, we continue with Lecha Dodi. We'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on that final verse, we're going to rise together and face the door to symbolically greet the Sabbath bride.
Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmi anu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shem ultiferet ve'litila Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki hi mekor ha'beracha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela Hitoreri hitoreri Kiva oreh kumi ori Uri uri shir daveri Kevod Adonai alayich nitla Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela Boi v'shalom atere ba'ala Gam besimcha u'v'tzola Toch emunei am segula Boi chala Boi chala Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 P'nei Shabbat nekabela
Let's continue on page 146 with the Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Yadadai-dai-dai, 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 yadadai-dai-dai. Baruch hu et Adonai
On page 149, let's continue together at the top of the page. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. On page 151 at the top of the page. Together, as you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We're on page 154 as we continue with V'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
In the middle of page 157, let's continue responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and on earth.
The heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך
On page 160, we continue now with the Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ushmor tziteinu, uvoeinu, l'chaim ul-shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim.
On page 162, we continue together as we rejoice in the gift of Shabbat, Vishamru.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
On page 163, we are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. On the next page, we rise together for the Amidah HaTefilah, page 164 through page 170.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha
Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Velohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Vezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atal hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. We're on page 173 at the top of the page. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. On page 175 in the middle of the page. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. Altogether, there may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha be'ira na'avod. On page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words. Together, for the awareness of soul, our light within. For the world around us, so filled with beauty. For the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. On the next page, a prayer for peace. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael. atahu melech adon lechol hashalom ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom v'tov beinecha levarech et amcho Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. We take a few moments to find that place of shalom within each of us. Oh, say shalom, be romav. Oh, say shalom, be romav. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Be romav. Oh, say shalom. Be romav. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May we find peace. May the one who makes peace bring peace down.
Our thoughts now turn to our loved ones, members of our community who are in need of healing. Whether they are in need of physical, mental, or spiritual healing, we take them into our hearts at this time of prayer. Let's turn to page 371 as we join together in this prayer for healing, Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
We are thinking of and wishing a complete healing of body, mind, and spirit to Pat Adamson, Eric Adler, David Altner and Sydney Altner, Joe Brickman, Evan Bin, Laura Carlos, John Conway, Richard Corwin, Mark Edelstein, Mickey Edelstein, Benjamin Edelstein, and Brian Edelstein, Danielle Heyman Feist, Richard Feldman, Eric Fisk, Sam Friedman, Albert Gart, Bob Gold and Carolyn Gold, Jennifer Gousset, Barbara Green and Buddy Green, Vicky Hano, Harriet Kaplan, Lori Cattleman, Hank Corin, Wendy Sugarman Krosnoff, Dr. Sonia Linke, Michael Lynch, Bob Mansfeld, Elsa Mikosh, Dolores Munsick, Ruth Poehler, Jane Rifkin, Jess Rifkin, Don Rolander, Liesel Schick, Jane Solomon and Stuart Solomon, Dr. Cindy Steinman, Pete Tanner and Scott Tanner, Fred Truax, and Michael Vereb. If you'd like to mention the name of a loved one, someone you're thinking of at this time for this prayer of healing, please speak their name as my eyes meet yours. We take these names into our hearts along with all of those mentioned at home as we conclude, as we pray.
Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Hopefully, as you walked in, you grabbed our 2 handouts that were on the table, because that would help you a lot in this moment. I want to direct your attention first to our usual supplement. And on the supplement, you will see in the middle a prayer that we used to say pretty much every week before COVID started. And it's our family blessing when we had more kids in the room, including my own. Before COVID, we would call them up before Motzi, and we would say, Yisimchem Elohim, Kesara, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Ephraim, Umenashe. May God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, Ephraim, and Menashe. And this was actually the gender-neutral version of this prayer. We had said before, we had separated it out. Traditionally, it's a prayer over sons and boys, boys and daughters and girls, and we decided to be more inclusive, to make it one prayer for everybody, to bless all of our children together. And it's really one of my favorite prayers. It's really a lovely expression, asking God to grant blessing to our children, to make them like these biblical heroes of the past. Now, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, we have a sense of who these people are. Ephraim and Manasseh, maybe a little less so, I'm guessing, because they don't really stand out, jump out as biblical heroes. It's not, may you be like Moses, may you be like Aaron, may you be like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Ephraim and Manasseh, who are Joseph's kids. That's right, Joseph's kids that he has in Egypt. And so if we look to our handout that we have, our Daf Torah today, our page of Torah, we have our portion, Parshat Vayechi, the end of the book of Genesis. A question: why these two dudes? Why do Ephraim and Manasseh get to have this very prominent place in our liturgy? What's so special, anyway, about Ephraim and Manasseh? So let's take a little look at Genesis 48, 8 to 20, just for a little context for ourselves. Noticing Joseph's sons, Israel, a.k.a. Jacob, asked, "Who are these? Who are these kids hanging around? I'm trying to rest." And Joseph said to his father, "These are my sons whom God has given me here. Bring them to me," he said, "that I may bless them." Now Israel's eyes were dim with age, he could not see. So Joseph brought them close to him, and he kissed them, and he embraced them. And Israel said to Joseph, "I never expected to see you again, and here God has let me see your children as well." Israel stretches out his right hand and laid it on Ephraim's head, though he was the younger, and his left hand on Manasseh's head, thus crossing his hands, doing one of these. Although Manasseh was the firstborn. Jacob gets in a lot of trouble with these firstborn, secondborn things throughout his life. It never really causes him really any joy. He tries to supplant Esau. Esau tries to kill him. He tries to go for the second daughter. He goes for Rachel. He gets Leah instead. That was strike two. And then he shows so much favoritism to his younger sons, Joseph and Benjamin, that his older brothers try to kill him and send him into slavery. So Joseph in this moment is probably like, maybe let's not do this anymore with favoring the younger son. When Joseph saw that his father was placing his right hand on Ephraim's head, he thought it wrong, so he took hold of his father's hand to move it from Ephraim to Manasseh. "Not so, father," Joseph said to his father, "for the other is the firstborn. Place your right hand on his head." But his father objected, saying, "I know, my son, I know. I got it. I got this covered. He too shall be a great people. He too shall be great. Yet his younger brother shall be greater than he. His offspring shall be plentiful enough for the nations." So he blessed them that day by saying, "By you shall Israel invoke blessing, saying, may God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh." And thus he put Ephraim before Manasseh. So we have a couple of questions here. Once again, why these two? Why do they get to have this blessing that we get to say every week for Shabbat to bless our children? And then maybe what's going on here? Why is the younger, again, going to get the bigger blessing as opposed to the older? Why is Ephraim so much cooler than Manasseh? Because, 2 minutes ago, he didn't know them from anybody, right? It wasn't like he was like, Ephraim is so much wiser and so much more courageous or diligent or pious, He just met these kids a minute ago. So what's the deal here? Why do we have this old switcheroo going on? So, one idea, at least, of why Ephraim and Manasseh, when we think about Genesis and brothers, it's a rough road. So these are the first brothers that we really have in Genesis that, like each other, that seem to get along, that seem to be actually nice to each other. No one's smashing one on the head with a rock. No one's selling someone else into slavery. No one's stealing a birthright. The brothers actually, yay, they get along. They're happy. They're playing together nicely. It's a good time for everybody. Good folk. We like to see that. So it's good to honor that maybe, that these were brothers who actually like each other and get along. But the rabbis think there's actually a deeper meaning here with Ephraim and Manasseh, that they are the first two children that are actually born in exile for the Jewish people. They're born in Egypt. They aren't raised, in the land of Israel, the land of Canaan. They aren't sort of raised in the hometown, so to speak, surrounded by their tribes. They're surrounded by their folk in a different way. They're actually, a different world, a world in which they can very easily assimilate, right? And so the question is, well, we're praising them. Why? Because they are maintaining their Jewish identity. They're maintaining their culture, their traditions, who they are in the face of greater assimilation, the forces of acculturation in Egypt. And so when we bless our kids, like Ephraim and Manasseh, we say, you should be like them to remember, right, your traditions, to remember your culture, to remember who you are, to remember your identity, and let that carry on with you into the future. So that's why we blessed our children like Ephraim and Manasseh. But now, the $64,000 question, why one ahead of the other? Why Ephraim more than Manasseh? We don't get very many clues in the text. So of course, we got to look at names a little bit, because names tell us a lot, in Jewish tradition. Names are important. They have meaning. They have power. What does Manasseh mean? Where does that derive from, that name? It means that God has made me forget all of my trouble and all of my father's household. It comes from the root of forgetting, right? That Joseph, when he is naming his son Manasseh, he's doing it at a time where he's like, you know what? It was a rough go for me in my youth. Didn't care for it. Got sold into slavery, got imprisoned. Not a lot of fun in my life. I'm going to forget all of this bitterness. I'm going to forget all of this anger, all of this despair, all of these really rough feelings from my childhood, and I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to put it in a box. I'm going to delete it, Control-Alt-Delete. It's going to go, and now I'm just going to move on with my life. But by forgetting his father's household, right, forgetting his past, what does that mean for him, right? That he's also forgetting perhaps his traditions, his culture, his community. He's surrounded, as I mentioned about the kids, he's surrounded by Egyptian society where no one reminded him of his past. The only Jew in Egypt, so to speak, right? He's by himself, he's lonely, but it doesn't remind him of sort of the harshness and the hardships of his past. And so the past, again, that bitter memory, he wants to get rid of it. But is forgetting something that we as a community value? Not really. We're a people of memory, right? We're a people that loves to remember. We call back, we remember our ancestors, we remember our history, we remember things that have happened to us throughout the years. Because when we remember them, it helps perhaps understand who we are and where we are today and where we need to perhaps be in the future. So Ephraim comes along a few years later, the younger son, and maybe Joseph has some time, thinks a little bit about his past, and thinks a little bit differently. Ephraim, it comes from the idea of God has made me fruitful, but made me fruitful where? In the land of my affliction. And so he realizes what? He's gotten prosperous. He's doing well. Started from the bottom. Now he's the second most powerful person in Egypt, right? So he's doing okay. He's got a lot of bling, a lot of swag in his life. He's doing really well. He's feeling really good. He's powerful. He's rich. He's happy. But he's not home. He's not where he needs to be. He's in a different community, a different place. He's done well. But the people around him aren't his family. They aren't his community. He's in exile, and he understands that it's a different kind of feeling. He remembers that where he comes from by saying Ephraim. He remembers where he belongs. And so Jacob, during this blessing, when he's trying to bless his grandkids, he understands that, you know what? It might be a long haul in Egypt. We might be there for a while. Spoiler alert, we are there for a while, right? And what Jacob is trying to say, I think, to this moment, to Joseph and to his grandkids and to all of us, is that there might be moments where we're living in Egypt. There might be moments we are tempted to forget who we are, to try to forget our culture, our traditions, because maybe we want to fit in somewhere. Maybe we want to sort of be with other people that aren't like us, to seek their approval, by sort of distancing ourselves from our traditions in order to fit in with the greater community. And Jacob's saying, don't do that. Okay, don't forget who you are. Yes, we're going to bless the child who has that concept of forgetting in his name. He gets blessing too. But we have to remember even more so, it has to be more powerful, the idea of remembering who we are, remembering to keep our traditions alive, even when we are not in Israel, when we're not amongst all of our fellow Jews, when we're not in synagogue, when we're out on the street, when we're at our places of employment, when we're at a fun activity. We have to remember our Judaism. Remember who we are as a people, what we stand for, what we value. And when we do that, we endow our lives with continued blessing. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're going to turn to page 586 as we rise together for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekeru l'aliotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, begor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. Let's turn to page 597. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We were saddened to announce the passing this week of Janet White, mother of Stuart, Linda White, our member, Joanne and Judy, and there were spouses of Linda and Wayne. She's a grandmother to 8, great-grandmother to 6. The funeral's going to be on Sunday at 9 a.m. here at the synagogue. So everyone is welcome to attend as we say goodbye to Janet, a dear member of our community for many, many years. We just had the funeral today of another one of our members, Nina Stegg, mother of James Stegg, spouse Betsy. Nina was also the mother of Francis and Maureen. Maureen's husband is Kevin. And grandmother of 5, Danielle, Andrew, Lauren, David, and Aaron. So we send our condolences also to the Stegg family at this time of grief. We are in the Shloshim period for the memory of Leo Weintraub, husband of Ruth. And we are also in the Shloshim period, the 30 days of mourning for the memory of our member, Joan Keller. We also think of those who died during this last year. Deborah Nader, Ted Ross, Helen Roth, Ruth Jean Oberlander, Mark Enfinger, Alan Beer, Judy Guy Strickland, Carolee Pizzuti, Elaine Miller, Ethan Perry, Judy Fine, Beverly Rosen, Adele Daniels, Robert Pizzuti, Lily Singer, Shelley Foreman, Myron Pulfrey, Robert Sheldon, Beatty Rosenbaum Madnick, Shirley Botkin, Jack Moss, Linda Fine, Sid Bolin. We also think of those who died this season in years past. We're observing the yahrzeit this week of Richard Abrams, Tessie Bender, Albert Ben Mayer, Samuel Bennett, Harold Brahm, Sidney M. Brash, Selma Capeluto, Leo M. Cohn, Ruth College, David S. Crystal, MD, Ron Ekdahl, Charles A. Freudenberg, Abe Friedman, Ada Gantz, Joanna Gassenheimer, Gerald Goldberg, Naomi Goodman, Mrs. Elaine Gottler, Harry Hanfling, David Allen Hoffman, Joseph Casper, Riva Katzman, Sandra Kay, Rosalind Kirschenbaum, Anna Last, Samuel Levine, Helen Meyer, Abraham Ornstein, Morris Pincus, Goldie Pollen, Nancy Rose, Louise H. Rosefield, Seymour Rosen, Ann R. Rubin, Benjamin Rubin, Esther Schwartz, Donald Shorsky, Simon Shorsky, Irene Sereda, Bertram J. Thorpe, Shirley Toby, Shirley Weiner, Herbert Weinstein, Rita Weinstock, and Toby Zwerin. If you are thinking of a loved one this evening, saying Kaddish for any reason, please speak their name as my eyes meet yours. And let's rise together for Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, bechayichon uv'yomechon uv'chagei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivorach leolam olamei almaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit ramam v'yit naseh. V'yit adar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei dekudisha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Toshbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to Israel, and the entire world. As together we say, Amen. Please be seated. It's now my pleasure to come forward for a few synagogue announcements. One of our temple co-presidents, Denise Kirschbaum.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom to all of you at home. Thank you, Cantor. Thank you, Rabbi, for tonight's service. Thank you, Maria. Always a pleasure. Thank you to Heather, who is letting us be on live stream tonight. Please put on your calendars that there will be no in-person Shabbat services on Friday, December 24th, and December 31st. That's New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. Services will be available to watch on Zoom, so watch for your email so you can get the Zoom link. The Rabbi Daniel Treiser Memorial Poker Tournament will be Saturday, January 29th. Doors open at 6 o'clock, first shuffle at 6:45. And we don't ever want to forget our wonderful plant operators, Manny, Al, Sonia. Thank you for all you do for us. Keep watching. February 27th, we'll be having our next drive-through Jewish food festival. Hopefully, all of you and then some will be ordering up some of our delicious food. Temple will be open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week and the week after. Again, remember, no in-person Shabbat on the 31st and on the 24th. Be safe, stay healthy, Shabbat Shalom.
All right, for those of you at home, get your cookies out. And for us here, we've got an oneg to go to and a challah to uncover while we say our bracha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, ve'imru, amen. Yai-da-da-da-da-da.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I got tall. I want to see what the view is like.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat.